Hey everyone, this is Tina McGlynn with another episode of Life in Stories. And today I am pulling somebody back from my hometown of Syracuse, New York, Sam Vecchio, who is a musician extraordinaire, and so excited because he just released a new single. And Sam, tell us about that. What's going on?
Hello, Tina. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So it's a fun story because I am a musician as of recently.
Oh, I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I started during the pandemic. I started doing a nightly stream on Facebook called Quarantunes, and it was born of frustration, really, because I was alone for probably the first 3 weeks. My kids were with their mom, and it everyone didn't know what no one can be near anybody. Everybody stay where they are. Very confusing time. So with that, I was working from home, and one night I had enough of watching TV and just being bored, so I grabbed my guitar, and I played since I was 9, but not very well. But I thought, you know what? Who cares? Maybe someone will watch. Maybe somebody won't watch. Well, turns out people started watching, and it became from that night to about 100 nights in a row. I did take a few nights off in between. I basically started it as look, if you're going to watch me, I'm going to do this every single night until this thing's over. And I thought, wow, 2 weeks, right? Maybe 3. Max, right? So it became, and it was very humbling for me because, again, not really a musician at the time, but I'll go through the story and I'll let you know where I am today. So I started doing these things, started off like 1 or 2 songs, eventually built up to like 30 minutes. Then eventually it was like an hour-long show every night at 8:00. And I did it consecutively for probably 50 plus nights. And then I needed to take a night off because my voice was starting to take a beating. Right. Yeah. So, I would take requests. I'd have friends, I'd have family. I've had Facebook people that I didn't know that would tune in religiously every single night. And it was really, really good. It was great for me because I'm a pretty social person. So, isolation and I don't mix. Yeah. So it was a way for me to connect with friends and family that you couldn't go, I couldn't see my mom for weeks. So it was a way for us to connect, and she would watch, and family from in other parts of the country would watch. And it got to be pretty fun because at the end of the day, it was something that people looked forward to. I looked forward to, and I was learning. And so it was like a progression. I was playing a couple songs and they were okay. And then by week 2, week 3, right, by week 2, week 3, it started to get a little better. Then I started taking it seriously, and I'm like, look, if I'm doing this every night, I have to be good. Like I need to be good. Like eventually the novelty is going to wear off, and people are going to go, he's doing it again. But God, the dog is howling in the background.
Voice teacher.
Right. Yeah. This guy needs help. So I did. And funny you mentioned. So I started taking online vocal classes, started playing guitar like 2 to 3 hours a day.
Oh, great.
And it's funny, when you're a kid and they say, practice makes perfect, and you want to go outside and play or whatever, you don't believe it, but I exponentially grew. And I appreciate it so much more now because I'm older. Right. And so it became a thing. And with that, I started getting offers to play live. And I'm like,
wow.
No, I've DJ'd for years. In fact, DJ'd a couple of your brother's weddings, Tina, by the way. DJ'd for years. And that's not a problem. Me being in public isn't a problem. But when you're standing there with a wooden box and you got to make noise, and there's no pressing play or pause or, changing the artist, it's different. It's a different feeling. So I started playing out last May, as a matter of fact. And so it kind of just snowballed, and I'm booked. I have like 21 gigs this year, live music. I got asked to sing at a wedding. Like, I'm a wedding singer now. Look at me. Sorry, Adam Sandler, you're being replaced.
Yes, I love that movie.
So it's been it's amazing. It's been a really, really, really great experience. And if there's such a thing as a silver lining, had COVID-19 not overtaken this country,
Yeah.
This would have never happened. I just didn't have that kind of time to dedicate myself to one thing and say, you're going to make this the best you can make it.
That's awesome. I love that. Not only just think about for a moment how many people that probably were tuning in every day just for that connection, just to deal with whatever coping, mechanisms they had. I mean, you actually were, not only did you benefit and you grow from it, but you probably benefited a whole lot of people, Sam, just for them to tune in and listen to a guy that was going to sing to them and entertain them for a little bit while, especially in New York. I'm here in Tampa, Florida, so we were not as quarantined as the rest of the country. And I knew obviously New York was, because I have not seen my family since January 2019, and I'm coming next month, and I'm looking forward 2019. I'm looking forward to it because
Right.
I couldn't go up to visit them. So tell me, what do you normally do then?
You mean as by way of work?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so I work for a radio station. I work for a local radio station,
Okay.
93Q 95X.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the sales department.
Okay.
But I've always told the joke that I've worked in radio, but I've never been on the radio. Well, this week that changed. My single was featured on 95X all week during a locals only spotlight, and a friend of mine, Scott Dixon on 95X,
Yeah.
was kind enough to feature me all week. And I'll tell you, that's a whole like, talk about childhood dream, right?
Yes.
Since I was 9 years old and I could hold a radio in my hand, that was always like, if I could ever write a song and it be on the radio, like that was the ultimate goal in life. And this week I achieved it, which it's very surreal to me because I bug people and I'm posting it on social media. Hey, tonight at 6:05, if you're near a radio or a smart speaker,
be proud. That's okay.
Or a mobile device, or if you just are super bored, and the outpour and the outreach of people and friends and family and people I haven't talked to in years, reaching out. I heard your song. I love it. And again, they could just be being nice. Maybe the song's terrible, but regardless, it's that connection that you just talked about that really was humbling to me. And it was, neighbors, friends, family, my mother worked with years ago that were on Facebook. She would share it and then they would friend request me. It really became like sort of like a community, and it was amazing. And it still is. I every now and again, I will do a Facebook Live, but I'm actually playing out more now. I've got 3 gigs next week alone. So it's crazy. It's awesome. That's the only way I can say, really can describe it, is that, it's been a lifelong dream. And I'm so appreciative to anyone who comes out. I mean, I've met people that are Facebook friends that I didn't necessarily know because they came out, and it's great. It's just so much fun. It really speaks that music really does bring people together, and we had such a lack of it for so long that I tried to do what I could, even with my limited skill in the beginning, to kind of at least keep that alive, sort of deal.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm listening to it, and of course, the first thing in my mind was, and maybe I missed it, is where can people buy and download the single?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm on iTunes. I'm in the Google store. The name of the single is "Love the Sound of It," and ironically, which I'm a big music buff, Tina, but I'm unless it's hidden or never released, the only song ever titled "Love the Sound of It" is mine, which is also
awesome.
a little crazy. There's a song by Nick Lowe who sang, he had a hit with "Cruel to Be Kind."
Yep.
He's got a song called "Love the Sound of Breaking Glass," but that's as close as it gets. And I'm like, how cool. Like,
yes.
I didn't do it intentionally. It's just dumb luck, I guess.
That's good, though. That's good.
So yeah, it's on all streaming platforms. You can stream it on Pandora. You can stream it on iHeartRadio. You can stream it on Spotify, obviously.
Yep.
So really, anywhere you get music, you can take a listen. And
great. And now tell us, so obviously the weather's starting to hopefully, get better there in central New York.
90 today.
I heard. I'm always look at Syracuse weather.
So hot. I can't wait for winter.
Yeah, because the minute I land on June 17th, you guys are going to have a cold spell. It happens every time.
I'm sure when you come to town, it's like frost.
And then rarely is the weather good. And I'm always like, what is up with Mother Nature? And she's like, you thought,
she's very fickle, as you know,
so
as
cute,
you remember.
living in Florida. Watch this. I kid you not. 1 July, I had the heat on, and everybody's laughing at me. And I'm like, it's 55 degrees. I'm cold.
Yes, this is a Arctic tundra for Floridians, right?
It is. It is, especially. I've been down here 19 years, so.
Oh, no good.
Yeah. But so tell us some of your for those listening from the Central New York area. Tell us some of your upcoming live events. Where are you going to be?
So on the 26th of May, which is just a few days from now, maybe next Wednesday, I guess that is, at Harpoon Eddies in Sylvan Beach.
Oh, okay.
Harpoon Eddies was my very first live gig last May
Awesome.
23rd, I think. Good friends of mine are owners there, and they gave me a shot. And then following Friday, I'm at Rise and Shine, which is a diner on Westcott Street. Very schwanky, unbelievable food. There's an outdoor patio that when you're sitting there, in fact, when you come to town, Tina, you should go and sit on the patio there. It makes you feel like you're not in Syracuse. So that's
I will. Yeah. On Westcott, you said?
On Westcott Street. It's like 2 doors up from the Westcott Theater, same side of the street. And then I've got a private party on Sunday, but then a bunch of stuff coming up in June as well.
Great. And do you have a website now for all of these gigs?
I don't. Just on my Facebook page, you can find me at Sam Vecchio Music. Vecchio, you'll post it there. It'll be spelled.
I will. Yeah,
we don't need to spell it.
Come on now, it's not as bad as Rivazigno.
I've been spelling my last name my whole life, Tina. I just want to take one pass right now. No spelling.
Yeah, it's okay. I've been asked more times to spell my former last name Patch than Halsey or McGlynn. Sometimes I forget how to spell my newer last name.
I don't know. You're gonna have to look it up. Google it, right?
Sam Vecchio. And I knew, of course, how it was pronounced just from being familiar with the name growing up, all my life. So, and of course, unfortunately, when I hear Vecchio, I think Vecchio's groceries.
If I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me, "Are you related to the Vecchio's grocery guys?" I'm like, I'm not, but I'm guessing they've got more money than me. So yes, they're my long lost uncle.
There you go.
I hope they remember
do that
me.
DNA.
That's right. All right. That ancestry. Who knows? Maybe I am.
Do that DNA. Yeah. So, before we leave, are you in the mood to sing something?
Tina, I brought my guitar just for you. Just for you, Tina. How can I let an opportunity go by? I will do my song acoustic, and it's fun because when we're talking about if we're still talking about this, which we may or may not be, that's how I released the song. I released it on Facebook, right? Because my Quarantunes audience, I let them know it's coming. I've written it, and they're like, "Oh, cool," and I'm like, "Now I got to play it," right? So I played it one night on Facebook. Probably had the largest number of people watching at once, which was really awesome too, and slightly nerve-wracking. But as soon as I was done, a good friend of mine, Randy Tennant, who's also a guitar tech, sets up my stuff and good friend, really good friend, more than a guitar tech. But he reached out to me and he said, "My son Evan wants to record you. He likes the song. Do you want to come over and record it?" And Evan is a 19-year-old. He's 18 years old now, but he was 17 at the time. Yeah. A phenomenal musician, engineer, plays guitar. I think he plays the triangle. I'm pretty sure he can do a tambourine. I mean, the kid can play anything. You could throw him a wood block and it would be amazing. So we went over to his house and we recorded the first take. And it was just me and the guitar again. And then they wrote the backup music for it. Randy played lead and did the solo. So when you listen to the song, you'll hear a lot of collaboration. And I'm forever grateful because they really helped me bring that song to life.
That's awesome. That is, it's great. That's one thing about community. When someone has a dream and people can share resources and their skills and make it happen, that's just the greatest story ever, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
I, and Evan was, he just instrumental in putting the whole thing together, just kind of knew what I wanted without me even telling him, which
Oh,
was
okay.
also incredible. I had a thought in my head, and then when I went back to hear it, there's trepidation because you're like, what if it sounds like a disco song? That's not what I want. But, you got to smile and pretend you'd be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I was like, it was almost like they read my mind. I mean,
Awesome.
just the sound, the feel, the drums, everything about the song was the way I heard it before it was on tape, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's great. That's awesome. So I'm going to introduce you. Wait, tell me the title again. Tell me the title again.
The title of the song?
Yep.
Title of the song is Love the Sound of It.
Love the Sound of It. Okay, so everybody listening, I'm going to introduce Sam Vecchio, who's going to.
I grab my guitar?
Yep.
All right. Is this the time, Tina? All right. Let me. Okay, I'm ready now.
Are we going to go through voice reflection?
La la la. Yeah. I had to do let me just do my vocal lesson for 14 minutes. Just right, everybody sit and watch.
My daughter used to take vocal lessons. I remember the runs or whatever she had to take. La la la.
I love it. I love
Not
it.
a singer, so.
And
you have a great voice. So when you say you're in the sales department, I'm surprised that you're not, behind the mic. But from what I know of friends in the industry, being in the sales department, unfortunately, pays much better than being behind the mic.
Yeah, it was. I started my career in programming, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. Did promotions, programming. I was on a couple radio stations here locally, just part time. But I love it. I do love it. It's just that I needed to maximize revenue.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes.
So that's how I wound up in the sales department.
Oh, well, loving the sound of it.
All right, you love the sound of it. You ready?
Yes.
If you're ready, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Time to think about what you had planned and what you figured out. So you drove off without a care and left the best thing you had standing there. You always said you loved the sound of it. Now I am trying to get rid of it. There seems more to it. You always said you loved the sound of it. Why now? Who cares what's got a hold of you? Said that I never meant that much to you. Seems to me that you had something to prove. Never look behind you when you're on the move. You always said you loved the sound of it. Now I am trying to get rid of it. Can't be the truth, 'cause there seems more to it. You always said you loved the sound of it. Well, you can crash it down. I will be around. Your enemies surround. So stand your ground. The sound of it. Now I am trying to get rid of it. Can't be the truth, 'cause there seems more to it. You always said you loved the With your plans changed, with nothing figured out. With all those things you could have been. Those untamed dreams became a nightmare. You always said you loved the sound of it. All empty promises, I'm sick of it. Can't be the truth, cause there seems more to it. You always said you loved the sound of it. So there it is.
What a dance!
The one-man band. Should we talk about the 315 band?
Yes, because it's so funny. I looked at it real quick. I go, oh, 315 band. That's clever.
I know. It's actually my buddy's company.
Yeah. And what's that?
It's 315. He's got a clothing line called 315.
Got
so this
you.
is the unofficial Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So I'm assuming he sells things like gloves, hats, scarves, boots.
He's got it all. Gloves, hats, parkas, snow pants.
No summer stuff, no warm weather stuff.
He's got an incredible set of snow pants. I actually have them on right now. I know you can't see me.
Not.
It's cold here.
I'm telling you, that song just makes people dance. Like, I just wanted to dance immediately. It's just got a great, great melody to it.
Thank you.
It really
I
does.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So, I wish you luck, Sam, and I can't wait. I'm home June 17th through the 22nd, and I'm hoping to be able to, catch you.
That'd be great.
Weekend.
I think I do have something booked in mid to late June. So I'll message you. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm gonna, take a look and drag one of my brothers out with me, or perhaps even my
Bring them all.
Say it again?
Your brother Jeff has been a great supporter, Tina. He's a good friend and always. Good. Jeff and I are boys.
Yeah.
Well, all your brothers. I know them all. I know the whole crew.
Oh, I knew that, and
there's not one I missed.
I'm gonna reach out to Sam.
Yeah, I've either worked with them, DJ'd for them. There's one of them put carpet in my house. I mean, they're everywhere. Those Halsey boys.
Yeah, they're
everywhere.
I'm glad to hear that you never got beat up by one of them.
No, so far I've stayed in all their good graces. Thank God. Because let's be honest, I'd be all mangled right now. I wouldn't be camera ready if your brothers were angry.
Do you know what it's like growing up with them? As a girl?
I can only imagine you were maybe a touch protected. I'm just gonna guess not a lot of boys came a knocking. Just a thought.
I had
might be wrong.
Boys from other high schools.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that why you moved to Florida so you could meet a boy? I mean,
no,
you're like, I gotta go. This is terrible. I can't meet anyone in this town.
But it's true though. I joined CYO simply so I can meet boys in other high schools. And my brother Mark still threatened my boyfriend in high school.
Oh, love Mark.
Who went to Henniger.
Love Mark. I expect nothing less. Nothing less.
But that's okay. It's all good. I love them all, and you're very protective of me. And again, just to recap, this is Sam Vecchio, and he's got a great song out. And I'm gonna put, as you all know, who are listening, all the links will be on my YouTube. It'll be on my Facebook page. It'll be under Life and Stories. And thanks so much, Sam, for taking the time out to chat with me today, all the way from Syracuse, New York, where it's unseasonably warm today. And
90 today.
Yes, glad.
I have the air conditioning on. I didn't even know I had an air conditioner here. That's how exciting this is. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate the opportunity, and certainly great to reconnect with you. Yeah. And thank you for being so kind.
Yeah, no, I loved it. And I'm sure, my listeners will love hearing your song. And thanks everyone for listening. And this is Tina McGlynn with Life and Stories. Stay tuned for another episode. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.